welcome back to the channel. Last video I ended off saying that the next video would be putting the bottom end together for the turbo VHP rebuild project, and I lied, so suck it up. Instead, since we are waiting on some parts at the machine shop still, I decided to probably make a shorter video, and today we're going to tackle the valve cover. What we have here is one of the new aluminum reproduction valve covers. These things are great. As you can see, I have already started working on this. I've drilled 2 holes for a couple -10 breather bungs, and flip it over. I've removed the plastic baffle that comes on this thing with, like, I want to say they were freaking Phillips screws. I don't trust that at all. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those screws or multiple backed out and then got tossed around in your valve train, so we do not want that. You obviously want a baffle for wherever you're venting your system, and so I make my own baffle. It goes here. I leave this open because this port's getting plugged. That's just an aesthetic thing for me. And I'm going to just make my own baffle using some cardboard aided design, some CAD, and we're going to make a plate and just weld it as a new baffle there. So I've gone back and forth on what color I want to do this. My last valve cover that I did was wrinkle black. I really like wrinkle black, but I was thinking maybe do something different this time around, something crazy, something bright. Who knows? We'll see. We'll get back to that later. I guess we'll go ahead and get started by chopping this off. We're going to shave this and plug it up. I'd also like to point out that my wife made fun of me for these safety glasses, but they were like $7 on clearance at Home Depot, so. All right, as you can see, I got it all smoothed out. Ready to make a little plug, get that welded up. I also ground off the paint on the outside here. I'm not going to weld it on the outside, I'm going to weld it on the inside. Essentially just do a little plug weld on the inside of this so it'll look nice and clean and uniform. On the outside, of course, you won't really see this because the beauty cover will be over it, but it's a little things. Welds didn't come out too bad. That one's pretty gross. Came out pretty good. This is all getting painted, so I'm gonna make up the baffle that I'm gonna put here. Like I said, I don't like using the plastic one because it uses Phillips head screws to hold it in, and I don't trust that, so I'm just gonna make my own out of this aluminum plate that I got at a local supply store and weld it in. Well, obviously it's a different day. I'm working on getting this valve cover all finished up. I used some CAD, cardboard design, and made up this baffle plate that's gonna sit in there. I'm gonna get that welded up and then give it one last clean with some brake clean, maybe hose it down with some water and compressed air, and then it should be ready to get it all prepped and painted. So let's get that done. Well, I'm back again. It's a different day. I think I'm wearing the same shirt though. Pretty funny. I made a mistake, and I'm gonna be honest about it. So when I welded the baffle in for the first time, I don't know what I was thinking. Did it right on the last valve cover I did, but I essentially welded this plate too high up, and I was about to get ready to paint it, and I came over here through this mess, and I was like, you know what? That looks like it might hit that cam cover plastic thingamadoodle. So I test fit it, and sure enough, it hit. So a little bit of a setback, but not the end of the world. I just cut it off, smoothed it out, and then reshaped essentially the plate so that it would sit lower. And it's gonna have plenty of room to basically pull vacuum on the crankcase with the exhaust venturi valve, and it's gonna clear now. I tested it before I welded it up, so that's that. All right, I got the paint booth all set up. Sure, gonna get some hate for that, but don't really care. And if you guys were wondering, wrinkle black, that's the only way to go. Something I like to do to help this wrinkle get a little bit more texture is use a heat gun after the last coat and just kind of evenly heat it up a little bit. And then after a little bit, you can actually start to see it texture, which is pretty satisfying. Start to see it kind of dry up right there in texture. There we go. All right, I got impatient, took all the masking off and all the little grommets that I use to keep the paint off of where the bolts go. Figure that helps it seal. Here we go. This turned out so good. That's gonna do it for this video. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I know I keep saying this, but the next video is gonna be putting the bottom end together. I still have some parts waiting at the machine shop, so they're taking their sweet time, I guess. So in the meantime, I have a bunch of work to do on some turbo kits. I've been waiting on some parts to show up for quite some time, and I believe the last parts that I need finally came in the other day. So I'm gonna get to work on that. I'm not gonna film it because it takes too long. So the next time you see, next time I upload, it'll probably, I'm gonna say, yeah, it'll be probably on putting the bottom end together. So as always, I appreciate you guys for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you think the video was not trash. And yeah, see you next time.